Father, you've been pretty busy, huh? So often when I speak to people, especially recently for some reason, this is how they greet me. Father, you've been so busy. Or they say, Father, I thought about asking you this or that, or getting you to do this or that, but I figured that you were too busy, so I didn't ask. And when people say this, especially that first one, right, Father, you must be pretty busy, my response has been, yeah, just like everybody else, I've been busy, right? We're told in seminary not to say that we're busy, because it gives people a bad impression, right? If I'm constantly running around saying I'm busy, then I'm going to get that response. Can't ask Father anything, because he's got a lot to do. But the reality is that everyone is busy. And I always find it amazing, especially when a young couple with a bunch of kids running around come up to me and say, man, Father, you must be busy. I say, kind of, but I'm going to go back into my house and it's going to be quiet. I'm going to get to go to sleep at a reasonable hour and not have anybody wake me up. Right? You were the busy ones. But that idea reminds me of a holy hour that we had for priests over at Fatima not long after I was ordained. Father Samuel Fontan, who's a great friend of mine, was preaching this holy hour. And we were only a few months ordained at the time, but he had a lot of wisdom, not surprisingly, in his homily. He preached on his observation in his first few months of being a priest that people both ask way too much of priests and way too little. Some people ask way too much of their priest. Some people will show up at the office demanding to meet with a priest right away as we're running in between appointments. Unless it's an extreme emergency, right, this is pretty unfair. Again, we have scheduled appointments. I'm trying to go visit this school. I'm trying to go visit STM. I'm trying to do the vocations work. Right? All of these things. Hear confessions. Say masses. There's a lot of stuff to be done. And so at times it's unreasonable to demand a meeting right away. Right? We can't cancel a meeting with someone who's set it up for the new crisis of the day. But on the other hand, some, and I would say many people, ask way too little of us priests. People won't want to call to have a family member anointed when they're dying. Well, it's the middle of the night, or Father's doing this. That's what we do, right? Call us. People will hesitate to ask me to go visit them at a nursing home or at an assisted living facility. Just a few weeks ago, I went to visit a parishioner who had called and wanted to be visited. And several times throughout our very pleasant conversation, they apologized. Father, I'm sorry for making you come out here. What else would I do? You can only play so much Nintendo, right? I don't play Nintendo, but he kept saying that over and over again. Father, I'm sorry for making you come out here, but that's what I do. And more importantly than what I do, that's who I am. Right? I'm called to be a priest. Imagine a child saying to their parent, well, Mom, Dad, I was hungry, and I was going to ask you for some food, but I realized that you were busy, so I just sat over here and starved. What? That doesn't make any sense. Right? That's what a parent is supposed to do. It's supposed to feed and provide for their children. But sometimes Mom or Dad has to say no. Sorry, Bobby, I can't drop everything and take the Q's out of your alphabet soup. You're going to have to eat them today. That's an unreasonable request. And so the parent knows not to give in. But sometimes parents, just like priests, need to drop what they're doing and take care of their child in an emergency. Honey, I'll finish clipping my nails later. Right now, I do need to take you to the emergency room to deal with that bone poking out of your arm. Right? That is important. And so they need to respond immediately. And so it's true, just like for you parents, for all of us in one way or another, that people ask way too much of their priests and way too little. As I mentioned, the reality is that the busyness in the life of a priest is part of the life that we are called to live. The fact that priests or religious and married people are busy comes from the fact of the sacrament that they take on. Right? There are 7 sacraments in the church, and they are divided into different groups. There are 3 sacraments of initiation, 2 sacraments of healing, and 2 sacraments of service. And so marriage and holy orders are sacraments of service. By the nature of the sacrament, it demands something of us when we enter into them. Right? Because it's a sacrament of service, it is given to me, but it's given to me to be able to be at the service of others. The other 5 sacraments are aimed particularly at making me holy, but those 2 sacraments of service are given so that we can help others to be holy. And so the goal of marriage is to get your spouse to heaven. Marriage is not primarily about making you holy. It will do that if you live it well, but it's primarily about focusing on your spouse. And the same with holy orders, right? The goal of holy orders is to give me the grace that I need to be able to help get you to heaven, to minister to you, the flock that's entrusted to my care. So everyone is busy. And in many ways, people are busy like they've never been busy before. It's incredible. There's so much going on. When I was in seminary, I helped out with the University of Dallas campus that they had in Rome. And I would go on the day where they would be sort of prepping for the week to come. Monday night, they would tell them everything they were doing that week. I was exhausted just listening to the things they had to do. It was amazing. And so we're constantly busy. But a question that we should ask ourselves is, are we busy with the things of the Lord? Or are we just running around aimlessly? In anything, there's a chance that we can get burnt out, right? Even the best of things. And the same is true with the priesthood. You, parishioners, and the bishop are nice enough to give me a day off every week. And I love taking that day off. And I need to take that day off. Right? We all need a day of rest. I get vacation days and retreat days, and I take them. Maybe not all of them, but I take them. And I need them. But I need to use them well. But I don't mind doing the things that are required of me as a priest. In fact, I kind of like them. I enjoy it. I love hearing confessions. I love celebrating Mass. I love baptizing people. That's amazing. I can pour water and say words, and God comes to dwell in someone's soul. I'm not going to understand that until heaven, but that's amazing. In other words, I love being a priest. It's what I was called to do. I love laying down my life for my sheep. I even, most times, love getting to know my sheep. It's wonderful. People invite me over for dinner. It's great. And so with Jesus, I can honestly say that no one takes my life from me, even though I spend a lot of time for others, but I lay it down on my own because it's what I am called to be and do. In some ways, this is heroic. In some ways, it's not really. It's the same thing that any good parent would say about his life. That my children don't rob me of life. They don't take my life from me, even though they demand a lot of you. But I give it to them, both literally and figuratively, freely. I pass my life on to them, and I give my life to them in the daily sacrifices that I make for their well-being, and most importantly, for their sanctification, to get them to heaven. A good parent will say, I am who I am to a certain degree because of my children, not despite them. Well, that one, oh, he tests me, but I'm still a good person despite him. No, you're growing in holiness because he's testing you. That's why my mom's so holy. I helped her to grow. They help to make you who you are. Right? They help you to mature, to grow, and to learn. And at times, they help you, just like you help me, to cry out to God for help. God, I don't know what I'm doing. You have to help me. And so they are leading you to holiness. And so as we celebrate today, the fourth Sunday of Easter, we also call it Good Shepherd Sunday. And the church takes this Good Shepherd Sunday as a moment to celebrate the World Day of Prayer for vocations. And so a question that I think that we need to continue to ask ourselves is that question that I mentioned earlier. Am I busy for the Lord's work? How is God calling me to be busy? What is God asking of me in this life? Who are the sheep that God is giving to me to care for? How is he asking me to lay down my life for them? And how am I responding to that call? How am I giving myself? Is God nudging you to think about a vocation to the priesthood, to the religious life, to the consecrated life? And if so, how are you responding? Are you praying? Are you telling him you're scared and to go away? That's kind of a natural response at the beginning. Are you asking him to give you the grace that you need to be able to follow that call? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Do you not know which one to be? All likely responses to a great call. But we have to pray about it. We have to ask God what it is he's calling us to do, and we have to beg him for the grace to be able to do it. We need that whether he's calling you need that whether he's calling you to be a priest or religious or consecrated, or to be married. Talk to any married people. You need grace. Right? You need it. And so the next time you're tempted to feel sorry for us priests, remember this, that we are busy, so is everyone else. And the question is, if we're busy, are we busy doing the Lord's work? Because if we are, then it makes it bearable. If we are, then we will be sustained in our busyness, and we will be joyful. We'll be at peace, because we'll be caring for and laying down our life for the sheep entrusted to us.